What's up, internets? Welcome to Movie Madness, a show by Marching into Madness. This is our second episode, and this episode, we're watching the movie The Big Sick, directed by Michael Showalter with Mucho Apatow assistance, and it's a true story of Kumail Nanjiani. Did I say that right?
Probably not.
I believe it's
thought
Nanjiani.
Thank you. Okay, so I wasn't saying the Canadian A.
Let me fuck with him. Come on.
Let me destroy his confidence further. And his partner, Emily V. Gordon, which was a true story of their weird romance and how it all came together, which was inspiring. So, what we like to do is take a breather in the madness, stop and focus on a film. This is the one we chose today. Our movie is picked week by week. So next episode, I get to choose, and I'm going to cut it in with some movie magic somewhere in the sequence and let you know what we're watching next. We're switching pace this week. Pitch Black from the year 2000, starring your boy Groot, a.k.a. Vin Diesel, directed by David Twohy. Dive into a classic sci-fi action horror film from the first few years of smaller budget CGI. See you there. And then Raza is about to give you a spoiler-free synopsis of the movie. So if you're interested in hearing more about this, you can tune in, listen to this first bit, go watch the film, come back, let us know your thoughts, or just hang out and listen to the next episode. So, like our other shows, this is recorded live. If you want to tune in, you want to know us a bit more personally, don't be afraid to pop in. We got a friendly community. All right, so, Raza, kicking it off, what's our spoiler-free synopsis?
So, the movie Big Sick is about Kumail, who is a Pakistani stand-up guy who lives in America, and he falls in love with an American student named Emily, who is, their relationship takes off, and then something weird happens, but over the course of this weirdness, Kumail gets closer with her parents, more or less, all while he's battling the culture clash of his own traditions, his own family values, and then stuff happens at the end. So that is my spoiler-free review.
I think you pulled it together. I got a little lost in the middle, but you brought it all together.
I mean, for the trailers did not hold back on the twist.
But I felt like we should.
It's in the title. Just gonna say that.
To be fair, that wasn't a thing that came to that happening. I just thought it was gonna be a typical rom-com with the culture or the cultural thing there.
Fair.
Yeah.
See, while it worked on tricking me, this works in spoiler-free because I was also sitting there like, oh, what's the sick? Where's the sick? What's the sick in this? I was waiting for something to happen.
I thought it was gonna be lovesick type thing, how they're into each other where it's gross and they have this falling out. The generic story beats of a typical rom-com, coming of age rom-com.
No, I think you killed the synopsis. I'm with it. I don't have much to add. Panda, do you have any secondary backups to help inform the audience on a synopsis of this?
More of a jab at your little rant there. You said he's a stand-up guy, and it made it sound like he's just yes, stand-up
comedian. Is that what I said? Oh,
it's all good. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you said stand-up guy. You're like, he's a stand-up guy?
I thought I said stand-up as in he does stand-up, and he's a stand-up guy as a dude.
Yeah, so it was he is a stand-up, guy.
Guy. That's what I meant, but I totally see it now where that came from.
All right, no judgment. So then the production notes. I got the little ad segment coming up. What I'm gonna do is remind you that if you want no spoilers. You can go check it out, because when we get back, we're giving our opinions on the movie, and we're not holding back, and I'm sure Raza's got a lot to rant about. What are you doing here? I'm sick of doing these ads. That's why I'm not even appearing in person anymore. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. You know what we need best? You don't even have to sub. Just share this video. If you like it, let other people know about it. We want to start a real movie club here. Join in. We want to know what you think. Sound off. All right. So, since Raza likes to be a party pooper, we are now going to our individual perspectives on the films. Yeah. So,
I like how, like, in the script, there's Bailey, and it's blank for you and I.
So, I think the least biased person here, and I'm interested to hear first, is Panda. Would you like to start with your opinion here?
Oh,
Okay.
humble.
Okay.
That's
Okay, so first off, there's two facts that I wanted to point out about this film. Is one, the movie came out on the 10th anniversary of Kumail and Emily, of their wedding. The movie was released 10 years after, on the day of their anniversary of getting married. Spoiler. We're in spoiler territory, I imagine.
Yes, sir.
And so that's interesting. And another interesting thing is X-Files pops up a few times in this movie. And Kumail was actually on X-Files. Now, I don't know. Yeah, when they rebooted X-Files, he was in an episode, and that came up before this movie. But who knows when the timeline of filming this would have worked out, you know?
Okay.
Anyways, so my thoughts on this movie are, so I'm a sucker for rom-coms, and not gonna lie, the ending choked me up. And I like Kumail as an actor, and this is based on his life. And Bailey, before stream started, you were talking about his awkward sense of humor. And I really, like, I can relate to that. And I feel like even though he's older than us, this summarizes our generation of, like, the awkwardness and the jokes that we throw out and how fast things can go and how humans now handle situations. You know, it's not so much a huge long-term event when it comes to, like, a breakup or meeting someone's parents or making decisions in life overall. So anyways,
it's like a modern love story in a way.
Exactly, and so I enjoyed a lot of aspects. I thought it was funny at parts. Again, I choked up, maybe teared up a little bit near the end. Elastigirl's in this.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue that trend. Elastigirl from The Incredibles. It's the mom, Holly Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, she's
That's
also
where-
in Batman vs Superman. I remember seeing her not in that, like in Batman vs Superman. I was like, I remember seeing her in something before. I was like, okay, it's Batman vs Superman. Okay.
It was ringing the bells. It was hidden. I was like, what is this? I can recognize her from something.
And I was just like, Ray. I've seen Ray in something too.
Ice Age.
Friends?
Yeah. He was in some other serious drama recently, but I didn't see it. I know that he got a lot of praise. Yeah, the remake. Yeah, the remake of Everybody Loves Raymond, where he cheats on his wife.
The gritty remake.
I thought Everybody Hates Chris was the reboot of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
That's so funny. He just becomes Benjamin Button. Goes back to high school.
Yo, I want to know what Ray Romano's brother from Everybody Loves Raymond. What happened to that guy?
He was in Transformers.
He was in Transformers?
Not Transformers, sorry, the Ninja Turtles one.
Right.
Oh, okay. That's decent then. That's okay. That's a good notch
That's
on
the
your
last
belt. So if I may I hop in with some opinions?
Of course.
Yes.
So I could definitely feel the Apatow influence. The pacing of the film felt like he definitely had his fingers in there in terms of like how the story developed. He doesn't necessarily follow like a 3-act structure. It's always kind of balanced really weird. None of his movies kind of go like 20 minutes of building, 20 minutes of this. Like this movie like very much climaxed in the last 5 minutes and cut off. Like it was very written in an Apatow style that way. And that's why I liked how it was shot, because it was a basic like 3-camera shoot. It was just showing the basic convo angles, but it was unique every time at least. It wasn't just like sitcom, normal rom-com. Sick of Bo. Too much Bo. I was teasing before stream. I thought Raza literally, I thought it was a prank. I thought I was getting pranked with Bo Burnham. I was like, oh, he got me.
I actually screamed at my monitor. I was like, oh my, you're in this too?
And Ray Romano, for all the listeners, god damn, bro. Yeah, why Ray Romano, drama acting comeback now. I bet you he's a one-type actor, but he can't play anything other than a New Yorker. But he damn well did a good New Yorker. So I also liked how the dialogue was paced. It felt very human. It felt very down to earth. I didn't feel like I was, as a writer, seeing like blah, 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 like a very Socratic, normal one person. The conversation felt fluid and bouncy and off kilter at times, and I enjoyed that. And then, so last detailed film geek thing that I noticed that I enjoyed is like watching a lot of movies when they do comedy clubs. It's really hard to make it feel atmospheric. It's always so stale when you have to set up the film setup, and the way they made the comics more personal, the way they included the audience in many of the shots and actually filled a fucking room instead of just using movie magic. I found it like it benefited those scenes, because a lot of movies with comedy clubs, it's like, holy fuck, it's so detaching right away. So I really liked that about it. And then overall, the story was great. I'm sure we're going to rant about that stuff later, but those were my main highlights of what I noticed.
Yeah, I barely get the stamp of approval. No, I think you both sort of like hit, like basically said what I was going to say, but I did feel like going into it was going to be like, yeah, typical rom-com movie, more or less, but like it definitely it hits the story beats of one, but then the twist happens and then it becomes something else entirely. That's what I liked about it. It isn't a typical sort of romantic comedy with all the other stuff. It's just like this. It's just like what other rom-coms go through. They tell in the first act, and then it starts to like dwell onto like the into the actual point of the movie, which I thought was told really well, and it didn't feel like it didn't feel like also just a rom-com a movie as well. Like it had like your whole family value you sing, the whole cultural thing too. So like there were layers, and I really appreciated how it took time to like peel it back and be like, okay, this is how all of it goes together, and how it's so like complicated, you know, in his like how his life is super complicated, I should say.
I agree. I think that most of the characters are fleshed out. There's two characters, though, that I feel are kind of comical. One is his roommate, who is a bad comedian, and he's just a loser. Like,
right.
You know, like, I know how you feel. I got kicked out for selling weed when I was a teenager or whatever. And the second character is the racist in the... when the parents first come to a show, and he's like, go back to ISIS, like, which I really enjoy that scene, but his character like is just like, I'm racist. I'm here to say this line.
Yeah.
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 But her
Yeah.
response is like the really good part of that scene. So, anyway.
Yeah. I did like that. I did like how he like Kumail Nanjiani uh handled that entire scene because like leading up to it he was just like, oh, I'm headlining, blah blah, not being honest about that, but he's just like uh he's I did like how his awkwardness was sort of like helping it sort of become a, a lot less serious because like he's standing there be like, oh no, that's such a dumb joke, and then he starts going on with that, but then like she jumps in. Everybody in that scene was great. Ray was super funny. He's like, if I'll kick your ass if my wife wasn't. It was like it's his weird energy throughout the movie that also had me too. But yeah, that scene, that character, I should say, was there to like, yeah, just to be there,
Just to serve that purpose.
Mhm.
But Ray's line of like, this elevator goes all the fucking way down.
down, yeah.
It's such a, because they're like hammering home that he's always making dad jokes, that he thinks he's like dad funny, and it's like, of course he gets mad and he uses the stupidest dad joke. I was like, that's good character writing. That's like very on
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I thought the scene was like in a progressive and good writing way. Like it didn't like go, oh, the mom's crazy. Oh, look, she had a mental breakdown. Look at this woman. It was very much like, oh, she just got angry. She had a tough time. Like, it was very much like not, it was character defining, but not like some sort of hindrance or basic just little filter on top.
Yeah. It should, like, I thought she sort of like her, like she had a calm demeanor the entire time, even when you first meet her in the hospital, but then you sort of get this passive aggressive, feisty, like little ball of energy going on, and then when that scene happens, it's like, okay, she's like going like all turbocharged now, because that's like a breaking point. And then the aftermath of that, her entire arc in the movie was, she was one of, I think she did a 180, a whole 180, and then Ray Romano was like already 90 into it. He just needed a nudge.
Her and Ray arguing in the hospital, like when they had that one intimate scene, it was like, that's fucking acting class shit right there. That was like, they're bouncing, the pacing was perfect. It seemed so natural. They were moving dynamically. It was like, oh my god, this is them making that shit. It's just one room, one camera. Like, I like that a lot.
I like the first interaction between him and Kamal. He's like, so what are your feelings about 9/11? It's like, my feelings about 9/11 is like, it's a tragedy. We lost 19 of the guys. It's like that to me, that's like, in my head, I could see me saying something as stupid as shit like that, but not as quirky. But so it just kind of cool, like how like, yeah, he has this weird, like, this great dad and energy, and then how he's able to like sort of like, because everybody's awkward as fuck in this movie. There's nobody who's not awkward. So him being able to like out awkward people in the scenes that he's in goes to show that he's like I do like that sort of like that light touch to all of his like grievingness of what's like, his sadness of what's going on.
It's funny because you're kind of leaning into what I was thinking, is that there's a good balance between the comedic aspects, but like real life in this movie. And again, going back to the shout out, in a regular comedy, I feel like his character would have like crumbled and been like, oh no, this is like worst case scenario. Like I'm here with my girlfriend's parents and like, but in reality, like you can't do anything. He's up on stage, the situation is playing out, and you can kind of just watch. And that's throughout the entire movie. When he freaks out, I love the scene when he goes and tries to order a burger with 4 slices of cheese.
Yeah.
And he has that mini freak out, and the scene keeps going. As where, like, you would have seen him, like, tip over the garbage can and then cut to next scene in a regular comedy. But then you have to watch him be like, shit, like, I made a mess. This dude's just doing his job.
Yeah.
And then you get that real-life awkward moment. Right?
Yeah.
It's really character-defining.
I feel like there are, like, I didn't, like, because, not, like, I do, Apatow definitely had a hand in the way things are look and shot in this, because like there are like that scene. I feel like any other normal movie would have just ended it there. He starts yelling at it, but that's a very Apatow thing to show like the consequence of that immediate sort of like overreaction. That's the reason why this is 40 is unnecessarily long, is because there are scenes that show the consequence of what just happened. And 12 long runtime for a rom-com is also something that I have rarely seen, by the way. And but it went by like quite quickly because I didn't enjoy all that. But yeah, I feel like he has a lot of those scenes where it's like he does something and then the comedic effect is the aftermath. And these types of like is his type of dry humor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can blame him for having Bo Burnham in this, because Bo pops up in Funny People, I believe it is, for a sketch.
Okay.
It's a very small part, but Apatow.
You're not picking that move.
Yeah, I'm over the bow. I'm over the bow.
Can I comment about Bo though? About, like, I get that what I said in the last movie, which we saw, Promising Young Woman, which you should see the episode now. It's on our YouTube channel. But the reason why I called him cringe in that one is because he's acting not himself, which, great, do your thing, King. Try to branch off. If it works, it works. I don't know if it did work in that movie, but in this one, he's literally a stand-up comedian. He's acting himself. It's just like that normal Bo dipshit energy who's just like super fucking, is a smart ass to everybody, which is just like, okay, this is a Bo I like. It's just like the scene that comes to mind is when they're trying to pitch a joke, and that roommate says something about dogs getting a boner when they smell drugs at the airport, and then Bo says, "You know what would be really great if you just stopped doing stand up altogether." That was how he delivered that. And he has multiple jokes like this in the movie. And then also the other thing, I've never dreamed about hearing Bo Burnham say the word Pakistan. I would never dream that. It's so funny to me.
It's so like you're in this movie, and you still didn't take the time to say it right. You know what I mean? I was surprised at that. I was like, he still leans into the Pakistan when I mean,
it doesn't matter. It's just like a thing. I guess, I don't know.
So it gets the white people pass.
I guess he was directed to do that because there are a lot of other people who were saying Pakistan.
I guess you're right. So one thing I did notice on the same note, without jumping around, was Bo Burnham. They didn't show him doing any fake stand-up. Bo didn't get a stand-up turn.
Yeah, he did.
Briefly, I think.
Briefly,
he did?
Yeah, he did.
Because there's that critic that's like getting them to...
Yeah,
I don't remember anything he said, surprisingly.
Yeah, same.
And so I wonder if
I know
like
he had one too.
Well, I just wanted to point out, since we're focused on Bo Burnham, I want to talk about I feel like we all realize when we see like, smaller actors in roles. Like we talked about it heavily in Promising Young Woman because there was plenty of them. But David Alan Grier, he's the person that introduces them at the beginning when they're all going out on stage. I guess he's like the store owner or whatever. But love that actor. He was on In Living Color.
In Color, yeah, okay,
right?
yeah.
And then there was spin-offs from that, like Blank Man, which is an underrated superhero movie to me. And most notably from my childhood, he's the cop in Jumanji. And
Ooh, okay.
I wish we would have gotten a little bit more of him, but there was a lot of moving parts.
When I saw him, I was like, "Oh, okay, he's in this. Cool. I'm already on board." I like how his first introduction, Kumail, it's like, did he just do real life? I was like, yeah, he just did that. He gets on stage.
Yeah, you screamed immediately. I love that actually. Yeah.
I was laughing so hard at that scene. But we can talk about the other aspect of this movie now, which I don't mind if I'm more interested about your guys' opinion.
I've got two direct questions that are like they're for you, but it's not what was the cultural experience. So the one was like on the same note I was talking about how to treat the woman. I thought they did the mom well as well. I thought the mom was relatable, but that's what I was gonna ask. So that was the mom was relatable for you. The mom was well done that way.
I was like, Mom, this is fucking you.
And then
the dad is also my dad too.
That's what the follow up when they were at the baseball thing. I was thinking of your family. I could imagine like a whole skit of Raza being dragged to a baseball pen by one of his family members. That's why I was seeing this. It was like
it was the whole dining scene thing because like we do that and then they're like, Raza, come here, have food. Let us talk about your stuff. Are you? What are you doing? Like, my parents think I like jerk off all day and watch movies here. So I see I shit you not, I have two monitors, and on this monitor, which I'm looking at, you guys are at, I watch movies, and my main one, which is not facing the door, there's like he's obviously watching porn or something like that. But it's just like, yeah, I feel that sort of like I relate to it, but to a certain degree. As Panda said, he is older than us, so it's like it's still a generation above me, which sort of like kind of cares a lot about that. But there's still like that pressure of just like I'm a special little snowflake when it comes to this whole thing because my parents aren't concerned about me dating a white person. It's the pressure is there. He has to lie about these things. It's fucking. I haven't done it myself because I don't deal with that. But it's just like it's like I can understand where he's coming from because like with brown parents, you sort of have to hide a lot of stuff you want to do to bring out your own identity. And this is what their like. He had a good speech, but like, why are you bringing your traditions here if you left that? And I was like, that's how I think, because it's like, it doesn't make sense of why you're doing it like that. But how they portrayed his family was pretty good because it's like the modern Pakistani family, but they're trying their hardest to keep their values in their children. Right. You can see it with the brother. You can see them trying to do it with him. But and that's the thing that happens all the time. Because you come into a new country and your kids are gonna adapt to the new society they're in. But like, obviously, they're gonna still retain their own cultural practices. But it's like harder to do it.
I did have one thought along that line, and I was curious what your opinions are. Is like, I thought for people who may not be aware of the modern setting as you're describing, that it was a very informing portrayal of how the arranged marriages work for someone who may not, because like at least I'm sure me and Panda at least have a concept of like, okay, and this is how it works in the modern era. But there's probably some Karen walking into that film, watching it, having no fucking clue how any of that works, and Lord knows the negative stereotypes that they had about it.
Yeah, I mean it does, because it's just like there is that stereotype and there isn't that stereotype. So it's, I don't. It's just it's we've come so far now that it's just like it depends on the family. Like obviously he's gonna have a because that's a pretty big stereotype, and obviously he's gonna have a family portray it, because again, this is a true story, right? This is what he had to deal with. But I just think it in a good way without making the parents look like you gotta do it this way. Like let him do his stand up. That's like a very, like, to me, that's kind of a big deal, because like my parents are letting me be a journalist. They're not saying, oh, you want to become a doctor, lawyer, engineer? It's fine. Bring disgrace to the family, but as long as you're happy, right? So that's what I that's how I look at it. They're letting him be open about certain things, but this thing, they're like, we want control of this aspect, or we want to help you with this aspect, and that's something that a lot of us have to, deal with. Not me though, because I'm born great. I'm born ready.
It's funny because it's the dynamic. I know it kind of sounds racist, but like my mind for some reason instantly went to Miss Marvel, and then when I was looking up this movie, the mom is literally the mom in Miss Marvel, and so I was wondering if maybe, because like there are a lot of similarities within the family dynamic, and I don't know, like obviously 2017 to now, there's been shifts.
Yeah.
Right?
It's changed, but as I said, it depends on the family itself. You can have an ultra progressive one,
Right.
and be said no arranged marriage. You can do whatever you want to do, or you can have somebody who's just like, they're still kind of progressive, but they're like, we need to keep some traditions in mind. So it just kind of comes down to that. The dad, though, I found the dad, because he's an actual Bollywood actor. He's like a titan in the Bollywood industry. So he's a big deal. He's killing. So like how I look at things at that shit, if you're making it big in Bollywood, you're gonna start making it big in Hollywood, and that's why you have your Priyanka Chopras now. You have your Alia Butts in shit like that. You have your, I'm saying a bunch of names. You guys are just flying over. I love it.
So, was there any inside joke? Because when he asked at the end what was the movie you saw
at the end scene, mutton palau. That's something a Desi mom would. She can be so mad at you, but she'd be like, she needs to know if her son has eaten. That's like the typical thing. That's very. My mom will not talk to me for about a week or two, and then she'd be like, Raza, have you eaten yet? Have you? It's like that's like the stuff that I can relate to the inside. But the jokes part was just like how the dad said, I hacked into your cousin's Facebook. I was like, you hacked into his Facebook?
And his Tumblr.
Oh, his Tumblr, just casually, just off the cusp like that. So it's like, dude, I was like, I can fucking see. And then my dad is doing a whole bunch of talk. When my mom wants to discipline me, she goes to my dad, and I could see that dynamic happening in there too. But the thing that I found kind of cool was like the brother. He was also really, he was like he could. I liked how his brother was at least kind of the middleman, being like, you're do whatever you want, just don't make our parents mad by marrying this white woman.
Yeah, I love that. I love that dining scene, and then when he just freaks out immediately, he's like, "Oh, A white woman. I thought you were gonna say you had insurance fraud or something happening. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, ISIS too. Yeah. The family looks over at them. Oh yeah, it's. I mean, I like how he goes downstairs and pray and doesn't actually pray. That's again something I would totally do, and I've done.
So that
Also, a little tidbit for our fans: ice cream. The scene about where he says Burfi and ice cream. Burfi is like it's like a almond milk type thing, and it's like you can eat it like a popsicle. It's very good. I had one in Pakistan in the most uncleansiest restaurant, but it tasted so good. It didn't get sick though. So
yeah, no hepatitis.
No hepatitis. Ate it. The guy took the popsicle stick off of the cement slab and then stuck it into this milk thing. I said, "Here, 10 rupees, please." I'm just like, that is 10 rupees spent well.
Yeah. So I got one more big rounded like commentary on it. Do you, Panda? Do you mind?
Sure. I just want to throw out that I love the dad. He was hilarious. Like almost everything he said when it wasn't directly like connecting with the family. Well, I guess even then it is. But when, they're like, why don't you grow a beard? Or you need better style, like daddy style. Like, fucking killed me.
Again, this is something that's like, this is something the shit that my dad, that's why I found it so cringy at the time. I was like, I'm living this.
His subtlety, that's his subtlety in the arranged marriage scenes were always like, I loved his like little excitement whenever the woman was talking and like how stoked he was to listen to them. I was like, this is like really good little subtle additions to this.
It's like he did a good job at portraying him as like a little devil. Devil.
So oh shoot, what was the point?
What's your commentary, Billy?
Oh, okay, I'm on. All right, Raza. I made it as a side joke, but so I commented this to Raza when I was first watching the film, and I feel like this is just the whole film was just alternate reality Raza. Like if Raza was an Uber driver and a comedian, just like take his whole personality and just plop him in a different life situation. I saw it. It's like, this is him. So I really wanted to know, like, he walks around so awkwardly, like the way he's maneuvering the hospital with the family was like giving me his heebie-jeebies, the way he's like standing in the corner the whole time and shit. And is that how, if you had to operate in that hospital scenario, is that like how you would function? Just kind of like,
I would be like, I don't want to be here. I'll be awkward as fuck. But yeah, and that's the other thing. I literally saw myself doing all these shit because like this is the stuff I would do. Like the whole part was just like, do you want to watch a movie? That's something I would totally fucking do. And I have done that to someone. It was like. Can we walk? I want to show you this great fucking movie. I forget which one it was, but like I've done that, and it's like looking inside, like looking outside in. I could see why she didn't call me.
No, and the big magnifying glass on Raza's life, because even using that scene, I was like, that is still Raza, because he's so ADHD, he goes to just watching the movie and then get distracted by having intimate relations.
Yeah. It's so weird, because like when you see him after the stand-up scene, and then he goes like they have sex and stuff. After that part, I was just like, is this how I act? Is this me? This is bullshit. Not like he had game. He has better game. He's better. Sorry, kids. Riz. He's a Rizinator.
Yeah.
He's good Riz, but it's like the interactions with his parents. He sits there and then tries to talk about him. He's like, you can go now. I was like, that's fucking me. That's something I would totally say and do. I hate this movie. 0 out of 10. This is not. This is, I was saying, like, am I supposed to be entertained, or is this supposed to be like a self reflection? Because I was feeling anxiety while watching this movie because, like, yeah, a lot of my cousins are married and whatnot, and I'm the one of the few that aren't. So it's like, holy shit, is this like? I'm just gonna pause this and have a panic attack right now, and then come back. So, yeah, why don't we just watch movies that you guys can, have manic episodes over because it's so close to your life. This is not fun.
Yeah, I was thinking that about the table. If you're with the family, do you get seated alone on the lonely side of the table like that?
Yeah, it's happened a couple times actually. When I got suspended, they were just like, "Yeah, you don't even eat on our side." But the whole shunning of the mother, that happens quite a bit. But in cases here, it's the mom overreacting. Here, I can't speak about it in Pakistan because it's a little more serious there. But here, it's just like the mom is overreacting, and like the kids are just like, "Calm down." The dad's just like, there she goes again, losing her mind over her son not getting married. So it just, I need to. We're never watching a movie where he's the main character again. You
What?
understand that, right? We're never watching a movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, now I wasn't cluing into the joke because you don't want the existential crisis. All right. I get it.
Oh, also, just to say one last thing, Panda, when you were saying, this is me, I'm going to apologize to you, kind of, because I still stand with what I say. Bo Burnham in that pharmacy scene is cringe. It's hella cringe, all right? But I totally understand where you're coming from, where you see yourself in that character, because I could see myself in this cringe, right? I was like, man, maybe Panda is right. Maybe these characters are better because you can put yourselves in those shoes.
Yeah, like you were saying with how, like, he puts on a movie and like sits there and he's kind of like watching her reaction. I do that too. So I relate to this character too. Yeah, no, but like that's how I like to look at movies, right? Like if you can relate to the character, and then when bad things happen, whether it's for the betterment of your enjoyment of the movie or to degrade the character, comparing these two movies that we've watched, it helps, maneuver through the twists and turns that you experience and relating to your life and all that.
It just makes you understand the characters' like mindsets more, I guess.
Right. One thing I wanted to state is, despite in this movie, and for some reason he did Stuber even, Kumail was never an Uber driver, so I don't know how that all worked into.
Maybe he was just like, I mean, I took some creative liberties, I guess. They were just like, oh, let's just put that there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they needed a reason for people to travel between all these scenes too. So easy sub, but unfortunately leaning on a stereotype.
I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, in this movie, yes, as where Stuber, which he did after this,
which is what the. You're the only person who I've spoken to who has, like, ever in my life, or since the movies come out, who mentions that movie.
Oh, that's
under the radar.
Oh, this one.
I liked it a lot. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
They're a great duo because, again, you have like the shy awkwardness of like you gotta man up, and then you have this manly man who is kind of soft on the inside a little bit.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Right? And he's all, as you said, he's an Uber driver in that one too, right?
Yeah. So I found that funny, and I looked up because I was curious. I was like, Uber wasn't around, so maybe he was like a taxi driver during.
Yeah, it must have been like a comedic thing because like also how they did it in real life must have been not as interesting, so they needed to add that like the cinema emotional thing where it's like, oh, he's an Uber driver, ha ha ha, stereotype, ha ha, We're hanging fruit.
Hashtag relatable.
Actually, the scene where I was busting out laughing was the one where he does his art show.
Oh, right.
I was on the floor laughing because that's something, again, guys, I've done that to you, both of you.
Yeah.
Like, so cricket, this is how cricket operates.
Yeah.
It was like I was bursting out in tears. And then he gets his roommate. I forget what he says, like, this word means servant in our thing.
Yeah.
And I was on the floor fucking laughing at this. Like, that's, again, like laughing my ass off, because that's like, it's so relatable, where it's like, oh, well, brother, this is totally you. You would do a 5-point presentation about partition if you would. So yeah, he killed it. He's been doing good. He's ever since I discovered him from Silicon Valley, he's been doing very good, very, very good. That's a TV show, Bailey.
No, I'm just trying to.
Now.
I don't know
He's
where
working
I
on it.
first found out about him. I knew about him for a minute now. I first saw this movie, and I know this is how a lot of them, like him and the family, got a whole bunch of, like, they got all their bigger jobs since then. I thought like this Big Sick was his breakout into, like, proper big ass produced movies.
Maybe because, like, he's been, yeah, because, like, well, TV show, I guess. It's Silicon Valley.
Yeah, there's sprinkles. He had a lot of small parts. Like, he played a pizza guy here and there.
Yeah.
Cable guy.
Like, dude, Brown Man, a representative up in this ish, man. Fucking Pakistani too. There's not many of us in Hollywood, so it's fucking go, man. This is my Black Panther. This movie's my Black Panther. Oh my god, no! But ultimately, this movie was. Oh, and the girl. Okay, so the girl, the magic trick girl. I thought there was going to be something there, because it was. This movie is long, so there's a lot going on, right? So I thought there was going to be that sort of, like, issue there. Now she's still. Are we in spoilers, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've been, bro. Come on.
I've been dancing around the word coma for like I guess the beginning of the podcast.
We've been talking about the ending. We talked about the dad. What do you mean?
Yeah, but the actual. Like,
I'm teasing.
twist.
I'm teasing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So when she's when she comes out of a coma, or she's in a coma, I forget when, but he meets this girl again, which his parents have arranged to meet, and then she comes over, does the magic trick with the 20, and they meet, and he drops her off. I thought that was gonna go somewhere too,
Right?
And it would have added another sort of, like, because at that point we're still like 40 more minutes left in the movie. So I thought, okay, they're gonna have this, they're gonna throw this in the mix. A lot of drama is gonna happen, but I just thought they're gonna add some more tension in the romance from that, because it's my head went there.
What's interesting is when he finds out that she's in a coma, he slept with someone. And, like, given they were separated, right? Like, this isn't one of those Friends debates. We were on a break. That was, like, the whitest fucking reference ever. But I was surprised that, like, he... Like, obviously... Again, there's the realistic aspect where he's a dude and he has that magic trick of his own where he writes their name on a napkin and he picks up a girl, right?
Right, yeah.
But yeah, later on, having that girl where he has the setup date, and, like,
yeah,
you could feel that there was a connection there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There's a few aspects of this movie I'd like to hear, like, a woman's take on, like, how they view it. There was another instance I was trying to think of.
Well, I think slightly again. I think it's how they humanized the marriages, just again, because the women weren't just like, oh, here's another throwaway one. But sorry, go ahead. My bad.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, I'm curious how that girl you brought up, Raza, or woman, how women in her position perceived that character. If it was a little dramatic, I mean, obviously she's like, I watched a few episodes of the X-Files and it's a terrible show.
Yeah,
Heartbreak because like you were like the perfect woman until that
exactly.
moment.
Yeah, just like because his whole goal in the beginning of after he tells his brother like I'm dating a white girl, he says like you have to ghost her ass, otherwise mom is gonna ghost you, right? So it's just like I thought, okay, she's probably gonna be in half of like this woman, Emily. Emily is going to be in like half of the movie, and then the other half is going to be the other girl. But then, in my head is like in real life, he's married to the person who's playing Emily. So that story wouldn't make sense. But I felt like there was something there, and I feel like he may have explored that, and I don't know. Or outright saying he could have cheated on his wife.
Yeah.
Well, given that's why I brought up the fact that he slept with that girl at the bar, and then later it comes up. Literally, he has the conversation with Ray Romano's character, where he's like, "You won't truly know how much your partner loves you until you cheat on them."
He's like, I don't know what I'm saying. I thought it was gonna be cool.
And like technically, he did cheat on her at that point, even though they were broken up.
Yeah, I noticed that scene because
their whole rule though, their whole like they're not together immediately got broken up, and then red flags. I was like, okay, that they clearly had some sort of commitment there. But sorry, Billy.
No, I was just gonna say that one. I noticed they paid a lot of attention to detail and a lot of the continuity of stuff, and I noticed that particularly because they just didn't. He's usually a good guy. He didn't they didn't show him off her to drive her home or like write a note or Lord knows he just kind of fucked off and left her in the bed according to the movie. I was like, it's been pretty thorough the entire time. This was the one they just kind of like, all right, and he's on to the hospital now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they may have filmed that, and they were just like, it's unnecessary. He probably woke her ass up and was like, my friend's in the hospital.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. That's an easy one.
Something I would totally do. Be like,
yeah.
Stay here. I'm gonna go to the actually, I don't know who you are. I'm gonna go to the hospital. Bag him and tag him, boys. No, but I don't think that's how. I mean, it probably split up after the fact, but it's just weird. And the whole hospital part was kind of cool. I did it like it was a nice twist. It's not in that point the movie sort of turns on its head. It isn't about simple heartbreak now. She has a rare fucking disease. That's like, okay, this movie is now something completely different. So I thought that was very nice how it's like not a typical, and that's what I meant from the beginning of the podcast. It isn't. I don't think it's a typical one. It has a template of one, but there's still a lot like it goes off on its own like tangent.
So were there any negatives anyone felt?
I'm trying to think.
I get a little tired of the Apatow pacing. I didn't mind it at all. Like, I didn't think it made it a bad film. And I enjoyed how everything was tied together, but sometimes it was like, okay, it's a little in this hospital a while. There's a lot of things in this world that you could show me a bit more of, maybe more of the family. I don't know. I just felt like you could fill in other space with more activities rather than just awkward Kumail. But it kind of was the charm of the movie, so I'm conflicted there. But at times I found myself like, okay, I'm getting a little bored, a little predictable.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm basically in the same camp as that. It's just pacing ultimately. Apatow is a weird, even though it isn't done by him, but it's just like his influence is there.
Right.
There's scenes which I don't think were needed. Other than that, it just the the way the movie was told had some flaws, but acting
Right.
wise, everybody was good.
Again, like I no hate to the actress, but the main love interest, I thought she was a fucking when she woke up, given she was on drugs, and I know they were
Yeah,
broken up,
yeah,
but I don't know. I don't know if that went that way in real life, but I felt like it was the generic, like, okay, I'm heartbroken. I did my all. I was here for her, and she instantly was like, go away. So now I'm gonna fix my life, and then she's gonna show up again, and then we're gonna live happily ever after. It was a little cliched.
yeah, yeah. There was a lot of there was some of that I should say going on because yeah, there were story beats which I was predicting. I was like, they're gonna make up, but the scene where they go to her party at the end and he presents her a bag of shit again.
Bag of shit.
A
A
bag
bag
of
of shit.
devotion, Raza. A bag of devotion.
Devotion. Again, this is why Raza doesn't like watching these movies because he sees himself doing stuff like that, and then he
Burning
looks
photos and putting them in a jar. I thought it wasn't
in a
bad. It was
jar.
funny. It was funny.
No,
It was
that's
funny.
kind of. I didn't go that far. It's just like that to me shows that like if it's not just me, there's a whole swath of brown dudes out there that think like that, and that's the reason why this movie did so well.
Again, hashtag relatable, bro. Hashtag relatable. There's
Hashtag
many,
relatable.
many a man
Our
to
next
bring a.
movie is Goon, by the way.
I could see Raza bringing a little presentation board with stickers on it and everything. I could definitely see that happening.
You can see it. I've done it.
The slight twist did get me. Like you bring that up, I thought it was that's it. I thought it was just gonna be a sad ending to the movie. That's what I thought. It was such a big deal of a movie. I thought it was just gonna be she
Yeah.
tells him off, and then he goes to New York, and then that's the movie ends with him telling the story. Is what I figured. I thought it was gonna be very Seinfeldy. It was gonna be like,
Oh,
I've got this
okay.
movie idea. I was like,
Okay.
and then she came back. I was like, okay, that was sweet. That was well done. And then it calls right back to the first convo. I was like, all right, I don't hate this. That was kind of adorable.
Right. Personally, that's one of the negatives of being so encapsulated by pop culture is because all the marketing for this fucking movie was like the true life love story of this actor and his wife. And they wrote it together. And it was like, so like the initial trailer obviously didn't say that. I think it was like based on a true story.
Yeah.
And then it was like all the talk shows, they talked to him. And they're like, so you and your wife wrote this story about how you met. And it's like, so you're just giving everything away. But
Yeah, touche.
again, it's nice that I assume Raza, you weren't aware of this.
I
factor?
was.
Oh, okay.
Who? Like,
Of them being married and it being their.
follow him on Instagram. So it's like he was talking about it, like
Okay.
way back when. So I was like, okay, I knew that, but for some reason, I forgot what she looked like. So I thought Emily was his actual wife in real.
Oh.
I knew that this is a movie about something involving him, but I was like, oh no, that's Paula Dano's wife. Okay.
Right. Well, at least Bailey got to experience it with going in blind, which is
Yeah.
His
nice.
cherry was popped, which is awesome.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. I found out in post as I was preparing the clips for the show. I was like, that makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more
How'd you
sense.
find out?
Just because I was preparing the clips for the show and I was lining them up and they were doing all the interviews and I was like,
Oh,
It makes sense.
Post credits, little credits at the end.
Bro, it's clicked out, Klon. I'm out of there, dog. I'm a child of the internet. Fuck that. I'm gone, bro.
How do you watch post credit scenes of all the Marvel movies?
YouTube.
Oh, okay. Because like a tidbit at the end of the credits, that was a nice little jerk off there. I was just like, okay, cool. They sent us home happy. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. It was a happy ending.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I loved it. I was cute. It was like, okay, this is very
It was adorable,
cute.
yeah. And again, he gives us a brown dude's hope.
Hope to snag more white woman, eh? That's what it's just.
Wow, someone's gonna clip that and put it on like 4chan or something.
So Bailey, what you're saying is that
the brown man is taking away right.
So, Raza, you're saying you want to dilute your...
You want to not see when I get a purebred dog, that means purebred dog, all right?
Oh, God, again. Now that's risque. Oh, shit. Okay. So then, if you guys are cozy, I'm going to throw on the next ad, and then we go to buy it, rent it, skip it, or does anyone have any final thoughts they would like to deliver?
This movie got a fun fact about this movie. It got nominated for an Academy Award for writing.
Good.
Yeah. I guess brown people are coming up in the world. Woo. We're Slumdog Millionaires now.
Appreciate that you stuck around this long into the show, most importantly. If you don't already know, we actually do a few other types of content. We do different types of podcasts on Mondays. We do gaming on Fridays. I run an eBay store personally. Raza plays a lot of games. He's on TikTok, killing it on the shorts, killing it on the captions. So, no matter what type of media you consume, we're on that platform. So if you're finding out about us on YouTube and you want to see if we're on TikTok, we're definitely there. Thanks for sticking around this much. We see y'all dedicated followers. Welcome back, internets. We're at the last bit of our show, so thank you for tuning in thus far. Again, we got a few other episodes. We got more coming. You want to watch more movies? They're out there. We're both on our audio version on Spotify, and they're on YouTube. Now, what we use as our rating system, we do buy it, rent it, or skip it. It's a little bit cliche and old, but it's a good way to approach it.
We're going to have a graphic of that soon. We're going to have a Blockbuster sign being like, rent it, buy it, or skip it. And if you pick skip it, he shoots himself it.
That's a little...
No, it turns into the Netflix logo.
Yeah. I like that better. So, who goes first? Bebe first?
Sure.
Bebe first. Bebe thinks it is, I would buy it. I would buy it. I would add it to the collection based on, I'm going to steal Panda's wording. I thought it was a good, like, modern romance. So if you're looking to have a catalog of rom-coms and shit like that, it would be a good additional drama to add to the kit. But I don't think it's the best ever, but I think it's worth adding to collection.
Right. When you buy something, don't you buy it for the sake of it being the best thing ever?
I don't know.
Totally. I love every single movie I own.
Yeah. Yeah, Raza, your library of video games, you know what I mean? That's I could just
I have
the
regrets.
same thing.
I have regrets.
Yeah.
I have regrets. I wish I could return some. That's why I have Game Pass now. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'd rent it. Because it's a movie that, like, it's great. It's a great movie, but the feel, that umphness, the magic is sort of there after the first couple watches. And then you're just like, okay. You get the gist of it. There isn't something you need to uncover. So after the first couple watches, like, okay, I'm good on this. Great love story, great fucking writing, great everything, but I get it. I just don't need to watch it again. or own it per se?
Yeah, I think there's enough talent in this, and it's one of those movies where, like, I literally watched it today, and I low-key kind of want to rewatch it. Just, like, not right now, eventually down the road. So if I come across it, it's been a few years since it's been out, so I might find it for cheap at, like, Shoppers Drug Mart or Walmart. So I'd probably add it to my collection. And, yeah. And Raza, like you were saying, Kamal is like a rising star in my eyes. And yeah, he's been in a Marvel movie, but we don't have to address that. But I just can't wait to see what he does, because he seems like a good guy. He's funny, and I don't think he's done anything bad aside from Immortals.
Eternals,
whatever. Who cares?
He was in Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
That was a good movie. I had thoughts in that one. I like that one. I got really big during that one. I was gonna say, I liked him in that murder mystery show.
Oh yeah,
Will Arnett, where it's improv.
Yes.
And the movie came out like last month or 2 months ago. It
was a Christmas special.
Christmas special.
Yeah. Of Murderville.
Murderville, yeah. Jason Bateman's in it.
Will Arnett's the lead.
The main guy, yeah. And I forget the other the other two people. But yeah, it's a great. I like his episode. Kamal's episode was actually very fucking funny.
Yeah.
I think there was like all of the episodes were kind of jokes, but his was like the best of the best, because like he's making him do like this weird movement. So it's like I did enjoy that movie quite a bit, or show quite a bit. You can watch that, Billy. Sharon Stone's in it. Marshawn Lynch is also in it too.
Oh, watch anything with Marshawn Lynch. All right, there, I'm sold. Done.
He is hilarious. Like, I didn't know who that guy was, and then he appeared in that show. Yeah.
He's an ex-football. He was a big football star when I was a football meathead. So he was hilarious then. He was famous for sitting in interviews because they wouldn't let you not go to the press conferences. So he'd sit there in the press conference and he'd just be like, "I'm only here so I don't get fined," and he'd just sit there and be a prick all the time. It's amazing. But I digress. I have one more important question before we close out this episode, boys. One very important question that we ask ourselves every 2 weeks. Raza, was Tom Cruise in this?
No, but Bo Burnham was. We should change it to that instead.
Was Bo Burnham in this?
Fucking movie.
That's for me.
I can do that one instead. If you watch a Tom Cruise movie, we all have to do the podcast drunk.
Okay.
We gotta be.
I guess I gotta pick a Tom Cruise movie.
Not this one, but like
all right. So
edging.
That's No, shh. You're the weakest edger ever, bro. You're bad at edging.
You had a beer on Friday. You were edging the entire stream. This is pop, first of all.
I wasn't claiming to edge. I wasn't participating in the edging. I was just trying to come as near to the close as I could, to the finish as I could, you know?
Buddy, I'm on the cusp. I'm like, the dam is bulging now at this point, right? But I'm holding strong.
You guys, you gotta stop. I'm turning blue.
Okay, everybody. Thank you for tuning in this week, and then I'm going to throw in movie magic here again. Here's what the next one you're going to watch. Hey, we've been over this. Pitch Black. Vin Diesel, year 2000. Could be cheese, could be good. Either way, you like sci-fi, it's the start of the Chronicles of Riddick series. Come check it out and deepen your nerd knowledge. Otherwise, we appreciate you stopping by. If you're watching the YouTube version of this, we also have a audio version. You can find us on Spotify, same-ish, different day. We also do a podcast, and you can listen to that there. Also, we live stream this. Tune in on our Twitch or our YouTube every Monday, and recorded versions should be Friday unless I get too busy. You can also be on the TikToks and Instagrams, where you can find almost daily useless content that Raza works very hard at making, and it is hilarious. Panda here has a link tree. You can find it in the description. This gentleman will be creating mutual content in the future. But for now, you can check out his 5 billion Instagram accounts and give him a follow.
Yep.
Raza, you got any final notes?
I'm just very happy that brown men like myself are getting the representation we deserve, or we need. I just can't wait for the North American a remake of Three Idiots.
Yeah, let's hope they never do that.
I think it's in the cards though. That's what I've been hearing rumors about it.